Okay, hey guys. This next episode. Sorry. My God. People wonder why I try to surround myself with forever winter. In this next episode, I take a little stroll into the fairy forest back a few months ago, and was trying to get out and explore this world of video, keep myself sane, hitting the East Coast trails and creating some hopefully useful content for you guys. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite hot drink, your favorite cold brew. Feel free to play around on your favorite social app as you watch this. I won't be offended. I won't even know. Unless you happen to be sitting next to me. All right, so back out here again today. Yesterday I came out and I tried to grab a couple kind of tiny, small landscapes. It's a project that I'm working on, and I found this really cool stream out here on one of the trails along the coast in Newfoundland. And I really wanted to come back and try to shoot a couple of these tiny little waterfalls, get in really close and tight, and shoot kind of the interesting details. Second reason why I'm out here today is because I'm trying to redo or undo the mess I made yesterday. I did attempt to make this video yesterday, and I screwed everything up. The audio, the video, even the stills weren't in focus. I'm not sure exactly why. I got so tangled and messed up when I was trying to put this tripod in the right position, and it's still not exactly where I want it, that I somehow made it such that the camera body actually is mounted upside down. I suspect it's because of me moving around on this mossy ground, introduced enough shake into the system and the tripod to knock it. Because what I'm doing is I'm slowing the shutter to get these silky smooth movements in the water, and so a little bit of shake, a little bit of shimmy was enough, kind of to blow focus there. I think that's what's going on, but I could have screwed something else as well. Oh, that's really nice. So oh man, where's my shutter? This is my jacket. It's hanging up here specifically because I just fell in the river. There's some amazing BTS footage that I'll probably end up using at some point. Check that off my bucket list. Okay, so over here at our first little setup, I've got this beautiful little waterfall I'm calling a water trip, and this singular, nice, beautiful icicle coming down here off the green moss, having a little bit of light coming in through, breaking through the clouds, so it's actually actually looking really nice over here. As I was saying, I tried to get my tripod nice and close to the action, as close as I could without potentially throwing the whole thing into the drink, which is something that I don't want to do, but I tend to do. That's been fun. Also, I've got a circular polarizer on the front, so I'm trying to kill some of the reflections coming off the ice and the water. And the circular polarizer is also really helping cut down some of the light that's coming in, so I can drag the shutter a little. My shutter speed, the ideal shutter speed after playing around that I've seemed to settle on right now is about a second, between a second and 2 seconds. And I'm shooting at an f9 ISO 100. So I've grabbed a couple shots that I like. I'm going to grab 1 or 2 more when the light comes back out to play. And yeah, then I'm going to bring you guys over here so you can see the back of the camera and the whole setup. See what I'm seeing, basically. This light is so really pretty right now, but I'm gonna show you exactly, go step by step what I was going through. So this is the piece of little bit of icicle that I'm hoping to focus on. I'm gonna zoom in manually and focus on that. This is the little bit of waterfall coming down, and the whole composition is just really tight and simple, but the basic idea is to balance the icicle, which is static and hopefully killer sharp, with this silky smooth flowing bit of water here. The only thing I don't entirely love about this is how bubbly and kind of messy the payout is at the bottom of that waterfall. And I tried to work around that by dragging the shutter and opening the shutter even more to like 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And this, you know, it does become less erratic, but it also, there's a lot of white. And I find that the white in the bottom right side of the frame with a longer exposure distracts and pulls the weight all the way over here in the final frame. So I think somewhere between 1 and 2 seconds is still my best bet. So let's give that another go. I'm going to, as I said, I zoom in, turn this guy so out of focus, somewhere in there, looks pretty good. Zoom back out, find my shutter, 2-second delay to take as much shake as I can out of the system. Yeah, that's nice. Here's another little tip for you guys, and maybe some of you are using this already, but if I can figure out my upside down screen here, press, you know, whatever your camera setup is, go in and check your histogram just to make sure you're not popping off too far on the highlights or the dark. So it looks like I am clipping some of my whites, my brightest point of the image, which is somewhat to be expected. I've got a super highly reflective surface with this icicle. Maybe there's something happening in the water as well, the bright white. But nothing that we can't work around in Photoshop or Lightroom. The other thing that I'm gonna do right now is zoom in on the image I just took, and again, if I can find, oh my goodness, this is not fun. Where is, there we go. Zoom on my image, make sure it's sharp. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's sharp. Yeah, so that was setup number 1, and I think we got some pretty nice stuff there. Certainly got we got a lot of help from some late afternoon light that started breaking through the trees, so that was nice. I am pretty cold, and so I'm gonna stand in the sun here for a second and warm up all my bits and bobs, and then I'm going to hike upriver a little bit, not far, because there's just a second little waterfall that I'd like to take a look at. It's the light is kind of dropping off in here, but there still might be something really interesting, so it's definitely worth taking a look. Literally sitting in the river now. Okay, moving on. So the last place we had the tripod spidered out, and I was like a little bit concerned that I could knock something into the water. I didn't want to get too close. It was as, you know, on the line as I wanted to get. Here, for this, you can't see it because my knees are in the way, but I'm just going to be laying the camera directly on the ground. That's my tip of the week. Lay your camera on the ground. And I do this a lot, and what this will help me do is it will not only give me a unique perspective, but it will instantly create some depth in the foreground because it's putting all this lovely mossy stuff up front and center. So it's almost like putting your lens up against a tree or the corner of a wall and sort of like focusing on something that's past that. That tree or corner of the wall is going to be very blurry, and it can become distracting if it's too much, but if it's just subtle enough, it's sort of a nice little entry point for the eye into a frame, and it creates the first layer. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to try to do this relatively quickly. Got a little frame that I like, including this nice little branch here. Don't have the sunshine I was hoping for, but hey, can't have it all. Okay, so not bad. Gonna take the ISO down. Doesn't need to be all that in a bag of Doritos. So I am getting a little bit of that depth in the front, and I like this frame. So what I'm going to do next is I have these little bits of tree here, and I'm going to just, using live view, I want to just like place those in front of the camera. I'm going to try to demonstrate this. This is my frame without me playing around adding little bits of twig and tree and stuff. I'll take a shot. 2 seconds. Kind of pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. So you see here in the bottom left corner, that's the ground, because I've got the whole camera body lying so close to the ground, and it's on the ground in fact, that some of that foreground is starting to blur. It's so close to the lens, you're getting that really sweet sort of natural fall off. It's creating the first layer in my frame. Second layer is just beyond that, then you have the waterfall, and then the background which starts to fall off again at a focus. This is basically how I create layers in these compositions. I'm going to give myself a little help by introducing basically some artificial in-camera layering. And this is mostly just like, this is play. There's no right or wrong way to do this, and sometimes when I get home, I don't like the effect. But sometimes I really do. And that's why I'd rather have the option. And so what I'm thinking about doing now is just framing it from both sides, if possible. It kind of works, but at the same time, I feel like I might be coming on a little strong here. Basically just to prove a point. I think I need 10 seconds here just to frame this up properly. 2 seconds is like, it's a lot of pressure. It's freaking me out. Here we go. So that's the basic idea anyways. I've created a little bit of layering here in the front, a little bit in the top. makes it look like we're kind of looking through something before we get to our main scene, which is the tree branch, and then further into the scene is the waterfall, and then the background. Hope that made sense, because my feet are sopping wet, and I would like to get out of this river that I'm sitting in. So that's it for now. Yeah, that's kind of nice. It sort of helps balance everything and frame. Water has definitely breached the boot. Brr! Oh, gonna have to get walking soon. Oh no! I stepped on my cord. You have one job, cord. Survive. Oh, this is a boggy disaster.